And then
House always wins.
okay.
Be sure to smash that like button also to make Ethan Ralph seethe, folks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll read the rest of the super chats later. Thank you everyone for the support. Mad love here. Love the show's been so much fun, by the way. So, without further ado, he should be in the green room. Let's check. And this is Mr. and Mrs. Vickers. They are. All right. This is both.
Go on.
Look, I know you have a ton of questions. I'll pipe in here and there, but I think this is like you've been waiting for this your whole life. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know about that.
Don't
they've had
be modest.
before. Well, anyway, let's get into this, and we'll ask them some questions here. Mr. Vickers, are you with us, my friend?
Okay, he's muted right now.
PPP and
What?
Uncle Andy.
Uncle Andy.
Holy Hey, can I just get my chance real quick? You guys know what this is, right?
He's shaking the pill bottle, folks.
No, that's not a pill bottle. That's a rattle. We bought Baby Xander with Uncle Andy's donation.
Let's go!
Let's go!
What did you actually?
Vickers bringing the dance today. Yes.
Nah, it was a pill bottle. But I thought the joke would be funny.
That was good. Holy shit, dude. Nice to talk to you finally, man. What a past few weeks it's been, huh?
It's been just like looking into the face of Jesus and him looking back and saying, "You are my favorite son." It's been beautiful.
That's what it's been like. Oh, well, ever since we opened the casino, we've basically been giving you blessings each week, like blessings from God, Mr. Vickers.
They've been coming through.
Yeah, it's good. It's the good guys are winning now. Ralph's on the run. It's a good time, man. Did you see the whole shit with Medicare this week? What happened there?
You know, I was what was it Saturday? I work at my shop on Saturday, and yeah, we were following the stuff that was going on, and I got home just in time for that to start. And holy balls, I'm glad I'm sober.
Dude, it's been crazy because Ralph put you through what I can only imagine is a father's worst nightmare. Can you just, for anyone who might be like not following the drama closely, or who have missed the first portion of the drama last year, maybe just tell people a quick summary of what's happened?
Sure. So first, I know I told you on Twitter DMs that I had all my technical shit worked out. Mrs. Vickers' mic stopped working. She's on the headphones. She's right next to me, so I'll just have to pass my mic if she needs to answer anything or if she wants to chime in. But otherwise, sure. Like, when do you want me to start?
Well, first, for a few people don't know what we're talking about. Basically, Mr. and Mrs. Vickers are the parents of the girl that Ralph impregnated and had a baby with, who he hasn't paid any child support or done paternity test or really done anything to, be in the kid's life. I'm right about that, right? Would that be a correct summation? All right.
I think that's a good summary. Yes.
So can you actually start off when you found out Faith was with Ralph? I guess would be the great starting point.
So Faith disappeared, and she was obviously going through some problems. And she's admitted them, she's acknowledged them, and she'll be the first one to agree with me when I say she was out of her mind for about 6 months in total. Ariana's nodding, and so, but we she left this fucking ridiculous. I guess you'd call it a runaway letter, except for she was an adult. And I can't remember if he helped her write it or if that other douchebag Chris Kerr was like, "Yeah, that sounds smart." She's like, it's a toxic house and I'm leaving. I've decided to go to Richmond. Or no, she didn't say Richmond. She said Virginia. I've decided to go to Virginia to help my friend Adri raise a baby. And we're like, what the where did this even come from? I don't know who Adri is, and I don't know anybody that she knew had a baby. Anyway, we didn't think it was real. We didn't think that story was real. We're like, if she's going to act like an adult, there's probably some other shit going on, but let's treat her like an adult. Let's just send an email saying, all right, well, you left, but you took your laptop. That's ours. Because it was a school laptop that we bought just for school. And you took your cell phone. Our cell phone. We're the one who pays the bills. We bought the phone. It wasn't a gift from anybody. Everybody knows that she took her brother's shoes story, which that just cracked me up like right away, even in the heat of everything being messy. It's like, you took your 12-year-old brother's shoes, Jesus Christ. And she couldn't find hers. Anyway, we're like, well, so it's over $1,000 worth of stuff, right? So hey, that's a felony, so we're gonna go ahead and charge you. And,
wait, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Ralph met Faith in California. Was that before or after this?
That was before, but we didn't know about it until after. Now that absolutely helped her figure out lies to tell. Didn't have to buy her the plane ticket because the story they concocted was like, all right, well, Faith, she was class of 2020, right? She graduated 2020. She got as far as high school seniors go, as far as enjoying the end of your senior year. Her graduation ceremony was watching a pre-recorded video in the living room with some friends and family over it. It was ridiculous.
Well, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to give you my side because I saw the other side. During the California thing, Ralph had DM'd me that he was going to meet your daughter and sent me her profile. And I said to him, this is a terrible idea. I swear to you. I somehow went, Ralph, you're going to meet up with an 18-year-old at Dick Masterson's house? This sounds like a bad idea. And he went, nah.
It's true love. It's true love, man. It was meant to be, right?
You know anything about Dick Masterson at all, Mr. Vickers? Or any of the
PPP? I'd never heard of any of you guys or anything in that. YouTube channel
now, though. Do you know anything about him now?
Yeah, I picked up a little bit of shit in the last 18 months. Yeah.
That's crazy. So
apparently he supplied your daughter a fake ID. Just bragging about that. Do you know if that was true?
That's not true. I know that, and I don't know if Masterson actually said. All I had was a DM from Ralph to Faith saying that Dick was talking about getting her a fake ID. Beyond that, I don't know anything else.
It's probably true. I mean, look, I don't want to put any bad thoughts in your mind or whatever, but
yeah. There's plenty.
You probably don't know the half of it, dude. I don't know the half of it. No one does. If we knew the half of it, we wouldn't be streaming right now. It'd be scary.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I just say, because you sound surprisingly upbeat for recounting such a fucking horrifying tale. You're just like really upbeat. I'm really surprised a little bit,
Well, he's happy with all the events that happened recently.
Adaptable, gentlemen. You know what?
Right.
If Faith wasn't here, and if Xander wasn't born in California, if his last name wasn't Vickers, then that would be it would be a much different me. But good thing about Tales of Horror, if you survive, is there's fucking stories then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm glad you're taking it all in good stride right now, and especially with what's happened recently. It's fucking, you must be like, oh my God, the karmic justice, the forces of God, whatever did this. Like, wow.
I won't lie. It improved my fucking mood pretty drastically, but
yeah,
it helps.
So the California thing happens. She escapes in the middle of the night, steals her 12-year-old brother's shoes, and steals the laptop and flies to Virginia and leaves you a note. A handwritten note? Was it handwritten?
No, she typed it up. It was all professional.
Okay. No spelling errors. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't use like an old-fashioned fucking typewriter. I mean, it was typed on a computer and printed. I figure you assume that, but I like to clarify stuff. Wow.
Okay. So now I remember that week. That was a I remember even thinking like, this guy's probably like losing his mind right now. So what was your like first reaction? What did you do like when like she escaped?
Oh, yeah, I woke up. She was in the weeks before she would get up and she'd take a walk. There's a lake about a quarter mile down the street from where we live. And so she'd go to the lake and she'd take pictures and she'd come back. I figured that she had gone on a walk and she didn't come back. So I got in the car with her older brother and went looking for her. Couldn't find her. That's when I decided I should probably wake up the wife and let her know what's going on. And that's when Ethan went into her room and found the note taped to the back of her chair. So that's when we knew she had actually left. And then
taped on the back of her chair. That's odd. Sorry, that's just like a weird thing.
Well, you didn't see her room, man. We wouldn't have been able to find it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
It was a disaster. That was the smartest thing she did that day. And I know Faith is listening. You know I love you. And, yeah, water under the bridge. But it was when we sent the email because I suspected there'd 18, she's a girl. There's got to be some kind of romantic entanglement going on. And that's why we sent the email. We wanted to see if a knight in shining armor would come. And lo and behold, fucking Rad Roberts showed up in my inbox.
Is that who Rad?
Forget about that. He called himself Rad Roberts. And he was like, I'm a very famous man. I'm an important man on the internet.
He did?
You don't know me, but I know. Yeah.
Oh, Worski, you don't know the Rad Roberts story?
I've seen Rad Roberts meme, but I don't know where it originated from. Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah, no, it was a threat from Rad Roberts that I don't know who he is, but I know you abused your daughter, and pretty soon everyone will know too. I promise. You're used to pushing people around like the nicest guy in the fucking world. You're used to pushing people around, and now you're gonna get pushed or some shit.
It's like Saw.
Like
you scammed everyone in your life, and now you know what I mean. It's like Saw.
Naturally, I assume this is a fucking 18, 19-year-old kid who's emailing me with this fucking bullshit, and so I go, okay, so it's a dude. And she's been chatting up some young guy online, and she's gone over to be with him. I think it took, Ari, like 30 minutes? It's about 30 minutes. I like looking through her Facebook, and then the only person who had any internet presence, running a background check, figuring out he lived in Virginia, looking at his Instagram, seeing pictures of cars parked in front of restaurants that were in Richmond, Virginia, and going, okay, well, this is obviously who it is. Oh, there's the background. He's 34. What?
Yeah. This is how a 34-year-old grown man conducts himself, right?
Jesus Christ. So that was the first. I scrolled down because the first thing I'm looking for is sex offender, right? Because
now he is
going to
be. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, then it was just a shit show from there of like calling him out, trying to make peace, trying to get Faith to communicate, trying to get Faith on the meds that she obviously fucking needed. My greatest oversight, by the way. I'm sure most people know the story of when she found out that he had, according to her, at the time, she texted us all in a huff because she'd found out that he was still with Aid. I met him in Los Angeles, so he used me to cheat on her. So I think I'm out. I'm like, that's what you're fucking focused on, isn't it? Fine. I mean, I'll take what I can get, but
yeah. Wait, real fast. Super Berries for 10 says, Mr. Vickers, can you please say Adrian Blair won?
Can I say Adrian Blair won?
Yeah, let's go, Adrian Blair.
Let's fucking go.
Won.
Oh,
what was it? So, when you first started learning about Ralph, like, what was your reaction when you learned like the sort of content that he makes, kind of more like from a white nationalist perspective? He does like doxings, and like, when did you learn kind of who Ralph really was and like his internet lore, and what was your reaction to that?
The first, I didn't really find out what his content was. Literally the first this is gonna sound like a kid. So I'm like, first exposure was the fucking Killstream karaoke, which I stayed up all night to watch. I'm like, who is this bearded guy with the man bun? Sorry, Worski, that was what I called you till I figured out what your name was.
No problem.
It wasn't until we started chatting, and I'm like, the bearded guy, Worski. Was he the guy you used to watch his videos like on the way home from school? And I'd be like, turn that down. I agree with what he's saying, but he's screaming.
She used to watch my vids?
She used to watch your vids.
Let's fucking go. That's hilarious. Dude, yeah. It's come full circle. It's come full circle. Oh my God. Faith used to watch my videos on the way home from school. That's base.
On the way, shit. Just turned all the way up. I'm like, who's that guy screaming? Anyway,
the lore. Go ahead. Sorry. Man.
So that's the only way I kind of recognized you by the voice and stuff. And it was just I had no fucking idea who you were. Again, no offense.
It's all good.
Where were we? Oh, and then my wife started looking into like what kind of content it is, and by that time we got a ton of friends and family. Everybody's looking into this and looking. Obviously. Hands tied a little bit just because she's a legal adult. But certainly worried about what's going on because as she's over there, she's talking less and less. And but yeah, I mean, no, it was worrying enough because, and obviously we're like, well, Faith of the whole family, because me and my wife, Christian, we're conservatives. We certainly didn't. This was not in the teachings we gave. You should not go to Richmond. But she's always been, as far as socially, the most liberal one in the house. But she's an 18-year-old girl. I mean, they're just in California. She went through the public school system for most of it, homeschooled for the last couple of years. So that was her bent. But how that matched up with his show, I couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah, because the question a lot of people have is why? Why would she go for Ralph? Mr. Vickers, do you have any idea why this happened?
She said that.
Hang on. Mrs. Vickers, actually, Mrs. Vickers is gonna field this one, and I'm gonna take a quick 2-minute break.
Oh, and
hang on one second.
And so Mrs. Vickers, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wow, the mother of Faith Vickers. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent.
You're doing excellent.
Are you doing better after this nightmare you've been through, at least?
Yeah. I mean, if anybody heard me on Godwinson's stream, I mean, I was pretty shattered when we did that. And a lot of people want to know, well, why'd you do that? And it's, it was desperation. I don't know how else to explain that.
You were
gonna daughter. Sorry, go
ahead. You were gonna explain why you think she kind of went for Ralph. You're a woman, so you kind of have a woman's point of view on this. Why do you think she ended up going for him?
Some of it was because he told her that he didn't really believe the alt-right views. In fact, I think I may have a text somewhere from him that he could understand why as a mom I was upset, and then LOL right afterwards, which I don't even know why you bother trying to sympathize with me if you're gonna LOL. So a lot of it was that he didn't really believe those views anyway, so it wasn't like she was really gravitating towards somebody who was a ideological mismatch.
Yeah, because Faith was
well, his looks and stuff like that, though. He doesn't seem to be conventionally attractive in any real way, and this is coming from a fat man myself. He doesn't appear to be conventionally attractive in any way. I just don't know. Did she go for larger men before? Or was this the first kind of pig that she was going for?
The first disgusting fat man.
Okay. But there had been previous plus-size lovers, to put it gently. Previous plus-size boyfriend.
Yeah, she had been a little bit all over the spectrum as far as that's concerned, to be honest. But no, I said that during Godwinson's stream too, that I couldn't begin to wrap my head around why any female would go within 5 feet of him. So
a lot of people have like said that Ralph looks similar to your husband. Do you think that's the case?
Other than being overweight and having some facial hair, that's about the extent of the commonalities that I see.
Felton. Holy, that's crazy. So when you found out about Ralph and everything and the whole situation, what was your actions to get your daughter back? What did you and Mr. Vickers do to go like, all right, we have to figure this out because you want to save your your daughter obviously from this chaotic whole situation, right? So what did you do?
Right. So between the two of us, after we'd done the background check, I was communicating with both Faith and Ralph. Ralph would not talk to Matt. As you can imagine, he just absolutely hates my husband's guts. He was willing to talk to me, but I was only allowed to talk to Faith if he was on the call. So I was trying to walk.
Can you describe what those calls were kind of like, where you had to be on like a conference call with Ralph? Like, did he interact with you during them, or?
It depended. It depended on if he felt that I was making her feel too bad about the situation she was in.
Next level cult.
This is scary. What the hell? This
Yeah,
is chaotic.
Like isolation from your family members, controlling communication with the outside world. It is
pure
textbook
NPD, yeah. Textbook
behavior.
NPD, yeah.
Ralph would do this stuff to his own co-hosts, and so it's not surprising he would do it to his potential romantic partner. Now, Mr. Vickers, are you still there, Mr. Vickers?
Okay. Yeah, I'm coming. Sorry.
Okay.
We switched. All right.
Actually, PPP, do you mind if you hold that thought for 1 second?
Yeah, ask the super chat questions that somebody donated.
All right,
$100
this one's a hardball. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but Psycho for $100. He says, "Good day, Mr. and Mrs. Vickers. I'm so sorry for your family has been put through all of this. Faith made a severe and continuous lapse of judgment, and I hope she has learned from it. That being said, and feel free to not answer, but have you seen the video?"
I have not
Thank
seen
God.
video. Unfortunately, I had to use the still shot from the first frame to identify his house.
Oh, no.
Mr. Vickers, no!
Shut it down.
Mr. Vickers, no!
I couldn't even help that. That shit plastered all over my website for like 2 hours. But no, I did not have to watch the entire video.
Okay. And thank you, Psycho, for that. Appreciate that question. And Casino Supervisor.
So that was boring. I hope that was worth $100. I'm glad you guys got it.
Psycho's our homeboy. And we're all, I would say, happy that you didn't watch it, because that's like that movie with that guy. I forgot what his name is, but he goes, "Turn it off! Turn it off!" Where like the movie where his daughter is.
Yeah.
I have personally reviewed it frame by frame with a British gentleman, aristocrat Godwinson, and another son of an English politician, Kraut, or German politician, who puked at the end of the experience, and I shan't be going back to it anytime soon, for sake.
That's good.
Right,
One more question, only one more. $100 from Casino Supervisor. He says, question for the Vickers. You tell us about the juicy details of how you convinced someone at the Vegas casino to serve Ralph his papers and what it looked like as it happened.
Oh God, this is such a great fucking story. Okay, bear with me.
Do it.
So yeah, he announced he was going to Vegas. we had filed our restraining order paperwork in California, and Faith couldn't be on it. She's an adult. She lives in a separate house, and they used to have a relationship. So she had to file her own domestic violence restraining order paperwork. Now, he knew he was going to be getting served with that paperwork right before he left to Vegas. I don't know if he was trying to avoid service. I can't confirm that. But I said, F it. Sorry, you and me, let's just get in the van. Let's go down to... No, wait, did we fly? We flew. Well, we got to the van to go to the fucking airport anyway. Then we took a plane.
You flew there. You flew there.
Yeah, we flew. I'd probably just drive again. It's about an 8-hour drive from where we were. It's only an hour and a half flight, but we're an hour and a half from the airport. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that minutia. It's almost equivalent. We flew down there. We got a room at Caesars, or a suite at Caesars, because we figured faux show at some point he's going to show up at Caesars, just given who he is and what he talks about.
And he's J. Caesar 187.
Exactly. And that he's going to at some point, because he can't, well, he just has to do it. It's his life. He's going to tweet out where he is. So, where do we go? I think it was day 2 or 3 was the first time he tweeted. The day 2 or 3 that we were there. And went down and just kind of tracked him just to see where he was going. I can't make contact. I was making every reasonable attempt not to make contact, of course, but I was trying to get a beat on where he was staying, because it would be easier to send like an actual service processor to his hotel and give him the papers. Got in a taxi. I couldn't get in a taxi behind him. Get back to the room. Eat food. Real exciting. Anyway, skipping to the more exciting part. It was when he took the picture with May in front of the fountain by the Trevi restaurant. I had just given up. We were going to leave the next day, and we're like, it's not going to happen. We tried. We'll have the process servers do it in Richmond. And then sure as shit, that tweet comes through, and Ariana's like, go get him. I'm like, yeah. So I had all the paperwork ready, but I can't serve him, right? I have to have somebody else serve him because I can't make contact. So I go, and he's, holy shit. Andy, I don't think I even told you in DMs. Did I tell you the restaurant he was eating at?
No.
When I had him served? Fat Tuesday. The F, the A. Oh, I'm not fucking kidding. The F, the A, and the T are capitalized. It's right out there.
Not shocked.
No. I went looking. All they serve are frozen drinks, hot dogs, and fucking nachos. Not that I'm above it. I got food there the day before, and it was fantastic. But they load their drinks up with some alcohol, too. Usually those frozen drinks are weak as shit, but God, theirs are strong. Anyway, I was looking all around the forum shops for him, and I'm right around. I don't know. Have you guys been to either one? Been to the Caesar's Palace and the forum shops in Caesars?
Never been to that state.
There's this big animated fountain right at one end of the shops, and a big fish aquarium in it. And so as I'm walking around the end, May is spinning around like a schoolgirl in a Sailor Moon outfit or whatever the fuck she was wearing. And she almost runs into me, right? I got my mask on. I'm wearing a sweet hat that I bought across the street and just a plain black t-shirt. No, he's not going to know who I am. She's not going to know who I am. I just walked past her, and as I'm coming around, he didn't even know it. I made eye contact with him. Accidentally. He's wearing his Fed shirt. And sitting right outside the restaurant. So it's not a hard target to find, even in a crowd of fucking people. So oh, shit, there he is. He's sitting down. He's eating. I got to find somebody who's going to all I need is a person over 18 to take these fucking papers over to him and just say, Ethan Ralph? He'll say, yeah, you've been served. Give him the papers. Walk the fuck off. Doesn't matter if he tears them up. Doesn't matter if he throws them away. That's all I need. And that person has to fill out the paperwork. So I start asking around, and I feel like a weirdo doing it naturally, like, hey, stop, there's that guy over there, blah blah blah, and people are like, no, I don't want any part of that. I probably should have expected it would go this way, but
wait, so you could ask random people who are over 18 to serve for you?
It only has to be an adult over 18 who's not involved with the case. Those are the only criteria. It doesn't matter where in the country it is. It does, I think, have to be in the United States, but it doesn't matter where in the country it is, as long as they're over 18 and they're not involved with the case.
I'm just imagining him poking people. Hey, mind if you serve this guy his papers? You know, like it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I know. So I tried twice. There's some people pretending just not even to fucking speak English. Oh no, no, walk away. So I went over. I talked to security about it, and security was getting kind of fed up, and they said, "You need to get the fuck out of here right now, and not do this. You're bothering. If you're going to be bothering people, just we won't do it. We can't do it while we're working. Everything else." I was like, well, I had my chance, right? I just texted, the whole family's on the text, and they're like, hunt. I can't do it. I make my way back to the elevators, and I just get in the elevator with this guy, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to try to make the sale by not making the sale. And so he starts talking about, God, avoid the buffet, man. I don't feel good. Like, you don't feel good. I've been offering people money too. I'm like, here's $200. Just go do this service. And so I'm telling this guy the story and just saying, yeah, so nobody would take $200 just to give him paperwork. He's like, $200, and he kind of gets like a background. Oh no, it's a guy who abused my daughter, and she's getting a restraining order, and he's 35 and she's 19. He's like, what the fuck? And so he says, nobody would do that for $200. I said, nope, I'll do it. Really? He said, yeah, I'll do it. So we get to the floor, doors open, we let the door close. He starts getting rapidly more excited. And as we're going down the elevator, he's like, well, what do I do? How does this go? I said, look, he needs to acknowledge who he is. I said, the guy loves being famous. If you go by him and you do kind of a head fake double take and you say, Ethan Ralph, Killstream, he'll acknowledge who he is.
No.
And then you just hand him the paper. He's like, I've always fucking wanted to do something like this. This is great. So he's getting all worked up and excited. We're walking down the Forum Shops. He's like skipping along and he's happy to do it. So I take him over. I showed, thankfully, Ralph was still there. I said, that's the guy. You see him? And he's like, you can't miss him. I'm like, that's funny. I said, just, yeah, go do it. He's like, okay, I'll go do it. I said, I'm going to bounce like 25, 30 yards that way. So just catch up. Or we're staying in the same tower. I said, if you can't find me, I'll just meet you at the elevators where we met. Like, sweet. Yeah. So he goes over there and I start kind of booking the other way. And I turn around, when I got halfway down the way, and I see him jogging back towards me with 2 thumbs up in the air. He comes over and he says, you were right. I did exactly what you said. Called his name and then said Killstream, and he stood up all happy. And then when I gave him the papers, his face fucking melted. And that's what he said. So just so we're clear, because I'm not allowed to make fun of or demean or defame anybody, that was exactly the story that gentleman gave me.
That's
when he met,
amazing, dude.
What a great story.
Best part, he filled out the paperwork, and then I gave him the $200, and he said, fucking keep it. That was hilariously funny. So I got some done for free anyway.
That's beautiful, man. Beautiful.
You brought up Pantsu earlier. Just briefly, can we get you and Mrs. Vickers' thoughts on Pantsu, like as a person, what you think about her, and her relationship with Ralph?
I'm gonna try to be nice because I don't like shaming people who I think are probably still abuse victims and tied up in the same kind of shit Faith was, and the same type of shit I think Gator was, as far as just being. And to maybe Andy, if you were at the same time, just experience the constant. I'm gonna get mad. I'm sorry. I'll get better. I'm gonna get mad. I'm sorry. I'll get better.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a fucking cycle.
Dude, it was like
So,
every fucking day with him, man. It was so annoying. No, you're right, Andy. You're right. I shouldn't react. No, you're right. I should stop drinking. No, you're right. And then the next day, I'm just like, is he like joking with me? Am I being fucked around with? Yeah, no, I know.
It's cycled.
Exhausting. Yeah.
I mean, I'm super unhappy with her role in trying to convince Faith to do any crazy, because we've seen the DMs, right? And we've seen this at this point, meds are kicking in, starting to realize, what did I get myself into? Then when they're both, all this before, meds not working, obviously she's just saying, I'm down for anything because that's what he wants to hear. But when it comes to a point where he's going at her with the idea of, the thruple or the fucking harem or whatever his idea is going to be. And May's coming at her with the same thing. And then she's telling both of them, no, not interested. No, not interested. And they just keep at it. That's when I start to go, well, May is a young lady and I'm fairly certain her home life. Well, I don't know, but I'm fairly certain her home life isn't great. One could say the same about it.
It's terrible, yeah.
Do you think Pansy is a paid up pedophile? Do you think that she is interested in like little kids and stuff like that based off what you've seen?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I think that she tends to she's like a mirror. So she's kind of just everything I've seen is empty mirror. If she was actually into Lolicon and supported Lolicon, I don't think that kind of changes. I don't think it's a switch that you flip. But I think it's something that somebody who's wrong enough to just, I'll do whatever you think is cool, and it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. Going back, because you're saying like Pansy is a victim, right? Like, is she really a victim when she's trying to coerce your daughter into a harem for this pig? Like, can she really be a victim? Hard to say, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna clarify. Possibly a victim, and don't get me wrong. It's like, if she like showed up at the door tomorrow and like, I'm sorry, she's gonna have to make some fucking amends. But I also don't have a vagina. My wife does. Maybe she can weigh in on that. Just in case it was unclear that my wife would have a vagina. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to pass the phone.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, so, I felt badly enough for her that, I actually did try to reach out on Twitter to her once she was pregnant. Because I don't know how many other people noticed this, but they announced her pregnancy on my daughter's birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
No way! No way!
Yeah.
That's sick!
Mrs. Vickers, no!
That's sick! That's twisted! What? Okay,
yeah.
Sorry. I did not expect that. Go ahead. Whew.
So, if there was any doubt about, that this was done, at least some thought of trying to get even with Faith and hurt her,
that
kind of puts that out the window. And of course, Faith's birthday was just a few days before Ralph's birthday, so he knew damn well when her birthday was.
That's fucking insane.
Do you guys actually believe that Pantsu is pregnant, or is this all just a tactic for sympathy and to fuck with your family? What do you guys think?
I think that she certainly was pregnant. I think she probably still is, although I have to admit the whole Dallas thing has thrown me for a loop. So,
if she wasn't pregnant, do you not think there would be a milking of sympathy right now?
So you think she's not pregnant?
I think she is pregnant because I think if she was, I think if she lost it, there would be.
Poor me. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but the humiliation of that for Ralph, because he's like, you can't abort the retort. And I don't know how much lore you know about Sargon of Akkad, but Ralph went after Sargon viciously about his child miscarrying. So for Ralph to admit that his horse had a miscarriage would be a serious blow to his pride and to his ego, to the point he might conceal it. But then again, he's so shameless, he shows his beating in Portugal, so you never know, right?
Yeah, it's going to become obvious, pretty soon, whether she really was or not. So, I have he's a question. So short-sighted. Go ahead.
Well, I have one question. It's been racking my brain forever. Did Faith name the baby Alexander, aka Xander, to be the name of Ralph's biggest A-log?
That was part of it, but she definitely enjoyed that part. But she genuinely liked the name too. So she had mentioned that to me long before she had Ralph.
So she was like, it was
the name she
perfect,
liked.
you know, like it's perfect.
Yeah, it was the cosmic powers that be, I guess, given her one anyway.
Wow.
Oh, I wanted to. Go on in.
Pod Awful, aka Jesse PS. He's the one who put the diapers on Ralph's porch. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
He asks Mr. and Mrs. Vickers, can I be the godfather to your grandchild?
Well, I can't grant that.
Yeah.
I'm not the mom.
All right, Faith, balls in your court. And we got...
Offer stands.
There's a lot of trolls here. Bugfi for 10. Mr. Vickers, will you post on Kiwi Farms after Josh Moon's devastating commentary on your behavior through all of this?
Oh, I will never be posting on Kiwi Farms again. It outran its usefulness.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, we'll get into that in a little bit, but I wanted to talk. So, Faith was with Ralph, and you launched a site called, I think it was aborttheretort.com.
Yes, it was.
Tell me a little bit about the rationale for launching aborttheretort.com and kind of how you were thinking, what your process was throughout that time.
Well, there wasn't a process. I basically was doing the simple equation of Ralph didn't want me to say anything, and thus if I said anything, it was something he didn't want. That's the only point behind it.
Sorry, go ahead.
But coming back to the website you launched, do you regret it all launching aborttheretort.com and engaging with Ralph in that way? Coming into his field of battle, so to speak?
No.
No, not at all. Okay.
No, I didn't. So far as I can see, I wasn't damaged by it. So.
Okay. Because the same thing, why go on Kiwi Farms? Why make posts on Kiwi Farms? Like, were you aware at all kind of the site that Kiwi Farms is? Like, did you read any news articles about it or anything like that before you created an account and started posting there?
Oh, yeah. No, the only reason I ended up going actually on there and posting in the first place was because somebody else who I ended up knowing was trying to white knight on my behalf, and then people started thinking he was me because he didn't turn his to hide that he was from Penn Valley, and I had to just go on and make a verified account. And then someone got that I posted anything on Kiwi Farms, and that kind of was an interesting outlet.
Okay, you don't regret posting any of the stuff on Kiwi Farms? You think it actually aided your family and your cause?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For the price of some talking, which I could care less about, I mean, let's line up the charges, shall we? I'm not actually going to. Everybody knows what they are. If you want me to go back over them, though, I can.
I mean, if you want to go back over it, I mean, because, like, my whole thing about you, Mr. Vickers, just to be perfectly honest, is I understood what you were doing up until Faith came home. Because, desperate times call for desperate measures. You got to do what you got to do. If that means going on Kiwi Farms, if that means launching aborttheretort.com, I think most people were with you on that. Mm-hmm. My issue and a lot of people's issue comes in when Faith comes home. Why do you keep posting on Kiwi Farms? Why do you go on shows like this? Because a lot of people don't see how that benefits your family at all.
Well, because Faith didn't exactly come home alone, did she?
What do you mean by that?
I mean...
Oh, she had the child. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Vickers. She had a child. So, but isn't that even more reason to kind of keep the kid away from the internet, try and get off the internet and let the courts and stuff handle that? Or
the courts are handling it now, yeah. Hey,
courts are handling it, so why keep posting like online and stuff? Like, is it to get like notoriety? Is it to get fame?
But
what's the reasoning?
Oh, because I don't really post online anymore. I just do private stuff.
This isn't private, right? Like, this is a public show where we're discussing in great detail the pain and suffering your daughter went through to a large live audience. And I just don't know how that helps baby Xander. I don't know how that helps Faith. It helps me. but I don't know how it helps you and your family. You know what I mean? That's like, and I'm being honest and fair. Like a lot of people are saying the same thing.
I don't know. I think it seems really obvious that anytime a person I want to keep away from my grandson sees and makes big fucking mistakes, it makes it easier and easier to accomplish that goal. And I'm really not clear on how nobody else understands that.
Right. So you're saying basically it's to cause Ralph to spiral, lose his mind, make more mistakes that might help you legally and stuff like that. That's what you're saying.
I won't state that that's the specific intent, but it's certainly it's worked out that way so far pretty well.
I get what you mean by that. It's just, to me, I don't know. I disagree with the approach. I think a lot of people disagree with the approach.
Oh, I know a bunch of people do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'll say.
I guess.
But I appreciate you coming on.
Well, I'll say this, and Mr. Vickers, you could say if I'm wrong or if I'm right. You're doing this because as revenge against Ralph.
No. Revenge. I'm doing this because anything I do on either step number 1, I've had kind of fun. You guys are pretty cool.
All right, cool.
PP and I obviously do not see eye to eye, but 2 people can disagree and still get along. 2, everybody can talk about everybody else, and nobody has to be a giant bitch and explode over it. Right? Step number 1. None of this matters. Nobody on Kiwi Farms, in 5 years, 10 years, whenever Xander's going to get online, if anybody thinks I'm still going to be out here making the rounds, trying to piss people off or whatever, they're lunatics. By the time Xander can read, this is all going to be a fucking memory.
Do you think Kiwi Farms is going to be up in 10, 15 years? Or do you think that all that is going to get wiped away?
Well, even if the... Hold on one second. What?
Snape.
Oh.
Would he looking for Ralph?
That's true. So my wife was making the point. He doesn't have the same last name. It's because he would search himself and find the box. I don't think Kiwi Farms is going to be around that long, but even if they were, the same users aren't going to be. And God, if you were a user who hung out for 10, 15 years just so that you can wait until the demon baby grows up so that you can make sure that his classmates harass him, that's the most retarded shit I've ever heard in my life. And anybody who doesn't think that's I just can't see eye to eye with them. This is a temporary campaign, people.
Yeah.
Do you think Xander will understand, like, you referring to him as the demon baby there, like when he's older? Or do you think he might be a little bit resentful? Oh, has anybody? Hold on. You guys don't have. Neither of you have kids, right?
No.
Have you ever met a fucking 4-year-old?
Oh, well, I have never met a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Spent any time with like a 2 to 4-year-old. I've never met a parent that hasn't called a kid Demon Baby, Little Devil. My oldest son's nickname is Eamon the Demon. It's just one of his used to be one of his usernames till I made him change it all. Little. I mean, everybody's heard the term little at some point. That's because sometimes they're little. If you're the mom and they're growing up inside you, it can be a fucking demon. I've never understood the people who are like, you're calling him a demon baby and he's going to get all fucking butthurt. I have 5 kids. Granted, I went terribly, terribly wrong for a short period of time. All the rest are pretty happy kids and they don't give a shit about the loving little demon nicknames. It's the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, I guess it's just like the demon baby name, like it wasn't really given affectionately. I think that was my friend Godwinson.
No, we gave it affection.
That Ralph was
we gave it affectionately.
The Antichrist.
We gave it affectionately. Godwinson gave it hilariously.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Mr. Vickers. I agree. All right. Well, you know why I have to ask those? Because, like, people do want to hear that. They do want to hear that explanation.
Totally.
And, I have to be honest with it, because that's just been my take on it. I've wanted to get on your team, Mr. Vickers. I've wanted to side with you. It's been hard for me to get behind the idea of after your daughters come home with the child, just the idea of not distancing yourself from the internet and stuff like that. I guess we have to agree to disagree on that. And maybe it's just because I'm more familiar with the sort of people that post on Kiwi Farms, the sort of mindset they have, and you're not getting it yet, or I don't know. But
is there any confusion that I think that they're good people necessarily? That I think that they'd be wanting to do me a favor?
What do you think about Josh? Just let me give me a quick thoughts on Josh Moon.
My interactions with Josh Moon are that he has serious daddy issues. He hates me for reasons I do not know. Because, take you and I, right? We clearly disagree. We've agreed to disagree, as you just said, and we can do it and be gentlemen and go about our merry way. Do you have any reason to hate me? Just because we disagree? No. Right, exactly, right? He's stated it time and time again since all this started. I hate the Vickers. I don't know why I'm giving him an accent. But I hate the Vickers.
Well, and me specifically. I hate the Vickers. They're evil.
But me specifically, he really has some serious ire about, and I just don't know why. I don't care, really. We'll never meet in person. He has no effect on my life. Nothing about my business depends on the opinions of Josh Moon or really any of the Kiwi farmers. That said, there's a few really nice ones. But outside of that, there's some major fucking idiots.
Well, because a lot of people question, because, I think you guys have definitely, leaked some Kiwi farms in the past. People ask, why don't you send it directly to Josh? Why do you work through proxy? Is there a reason for that? Is it that you don't like Josh? Is that why? Or?
Well, Josh clearly doesn't like me. So, that's why. Why the hell? Yeah, I can't trust him. Why would I send anything to him?
Because I think the reason Josh doesn't like you guys is because you work through proxies and you drip feed stuff instead of just going directly to him and being like, here's all the...
So he's just kind of a butthurt little...
Your words, not mine.
Yeah, totally my words. Yeah, you can pass it on. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. But do you think that the proxies that you've used have been effective or not?
Yeah, it was just all about disseminating the information that I needed disseminated at the time that I wanted it out. So, as far
a lot of my people think that go on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was saying a lot of my people think that the proxies you've used are pretty and have hurt your cause, and that you probably should have reached out to people that were maybe more effective rhetorically with it. I'm surprised that when certain texts and stuff were coming out, that you didn't bring it to Godwinson instead. You know what I mean? Because he's more rhetorically effective.
Godwinson vanished off the face of the earth for months. I didn't really know how to contact him. I would have on some stuff, absolutely. Also, Godwinson he's an entertainer. You're an entertainer. Andy's an entertainer. You guys, you're not ready to... This is not going to be... You're not ready to be proxy. Help me out. You guys have a show to put on and you have laughs to get. I totally understand that. So it's not your role, right?
Well, but we can do it in a more, I think, entertaining and rhetorically effective way that can bring people on side, more so than some anonymous spurg on Kiwi Farms who's probably going to drop the fucking ball and the narrative's going to fail.
And now we're here, right?
Yeah, and I think you've kind of recognized, I think at least with what we've been doing the last month, that we are pretty effective. And I think you guys are getting your side of it out, and I think that that's really, really good. Andy, do you have any questions from the super chats or anything you want to do? Because I've been going back and forth with them for a while now.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I'm sure he recognizes it. And you weren't really 100% with it with what Kiwi Farms was when you started replying. I would assume not. You know what I mean? You didn't know exactly what it. You just wanted.
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty good idea of what that was about. I didn't start even posting on Kiwi Farms till Faith was home and pregnant.
Okay.
Oh, she was pregnant then home. All I did was, and I still do, follow him because they still watch everything he does. I don't need to as much anymore because you guys are way better.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, I don't know. Mr. Vickers, do you think that there was anything you could have done to prevent Faith from going? Or is there anything that you wish you had done differently in the preceding years? Or do you think there was nothing that could have been done different?
Oh, I could have probably done hindsight's 2020. There's obviously places where I went wrong.
Do you think that letting her smoke weed in the house and stuff like that was a good call, or do you think that was probably a mistake?
Well, the only problem with that is you saying letting her smoke weed. I never let her smoke. I never let her smoke weed in the house. We allowed her to get, what was it, like the CBD oil, and I think maybe some THC oil for drops, to see if it would work better than some of the other medicines she was on, just as a change. It wasn't. No, nobody was allowed to fire up a in the house with their brothers down the room. No, it happened. That did happen once, and she got out for it pretty handily.
And she was 18.
She was 18 at the time too.
What was the reaction? So when Faith did come home, what was kind of the reaction from you guys? Explain kind of how the process came when she came home and how everything was, and was there any tension at all, or were you guys just glad that your prodigal daughter had returned?
Oh, well, certainly you're glad that the prodigal daughter returned, but to think that there's not still, happy to have her home. She's the first one to know. It's like there's still time for we can trust her. Everything really since July has been fucking golden. The good thing about Faith, and again, Faith, I know you're watching, so don't take this personally. Everybody here, right? We're all gonna nod and say she has a problem with lying. Nobody's stupid enough to deny that. The good thing is she sucks at lying. Tells a story. That story doesn't make sense. It's a lie. That since she got on the right meds and everything's been going a very specific way, really since July, I haven't had any reason to question. But she knows that I'm gonna for a long time to come. She's willing to live with that.
Because you guys are, I'd say fairly, not rich or whatever, but financially comfortable, doing fairly well for yourselves. But it did cost a lot of money to get Faith back home. And I remember you saying, this is taking away from her brother's college. This is taking away from her brothers getting a car and stuff like that. Is there a sense of resentment maybe from them at all? Or is everything water under the bridge at this point?
Oh, no. There's, I wouldn't say everything's water under the bridge. And again, Faith's listening, but she knows. It's our 13-year-old. He's an astute little motherfucker. Well, he's the first one who's like, what? Just stop with the bullshit. Just stop with the bullshit.
Well, by the way, I have to thank you. We actually have someone in the green room. We actually have Xander in the green room right now.
Okay.
All right. Xander, are you there?
Okay.
Oh, God. Does anybody have the shut the fuck up Xander sound?
Grandpa! Yeah. Let Pot Awful be my godfather! Where?
Damn it, boy!
Oh. I need diapers! Where?
You make it out to California and drop some of them diapers off? Seriously.
Yeah, I'll
no,
be there,
PPP said.
I'm actually already
PPP
outside your door.
Is it my door? How the fuck did you get past security?
I got ways, man. You saw the drawing.
Ways. You're like a fucking ninja. I know. I watched you.
All right, but I do want to put in a real serious bid to become the godfather. If you could speak to Faith, I think Andy and I would make some blessed godparents. PPP will throw him in too as well. It'll be a thruple situation, which I know you're aware of.
My three goddads.
You're used to the idea of thruples, right?
Me? I mean, I count.
Not you personally.
I mean, I know they exist, and I mean, technically by weight, I can count as two.
I mean, listen, I don't know if you and your
myself.
wife are into experimentation or anything, but
Are you hitting me up?
Hey, buddy.
I mean, I won't say that, don't get a little stirred in my Levi's when I see you on
his
screen.
own show as the result of me saying that? Oh, my God.
Apologies there, folks. My internet crapped out there for a second.
Well, it's
good.
Well, it's all right. We have Xander here, so.
You didn't miss much. I was just trying to set up a threesome with Pot Awful.
Oh, holy. I just had like two more questions.
Oh, Ashton, I'll turn your camera off and back on again.
All right, hold on.
It's just doing that the three dots thing.
And while you get that set up, I just want to say, if Vito the Pedo is watching, remember what I said. I was telling the truth. It's going to happen. Watch your back.
All right. Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, Jesse. We'll see you later, bud. All right, there you go. Is there anything else you want to add? Like, is there anything that you could think of, remember, any of that?
I assume that's directed at me now.
Yes.
Oh, that I can think of. You guys have been great. I've been enjoying your show up until Kino Casino. I mean, I really had hard to find this kind of stuff and make me laugh. So,
we're glad because like this show is about pointing and laughing. A lot of people take there you go. We can hear you now. Finally.
All right, guys. Apologies for that. Speaking of internet issues, internet access, and shit like that. Would you, as a father now, say to future parents, maybe not to let your kids have unfettered internet access? Or do you think that's just a part of growing up now, how they need access to it?
I mean, I think it's going to get harder and harder. I mean, the big thing with Faith is she didn't have unfettered internet access when she was an actual child, but she was doing some we didn't know about that we wouldn't have allowed, if that makes sense. So we didn't just say, here you go, let the internet babysit you. All the really bad happened after she was an adult, and we had decided, well, she's still living here, but we're going to respect her privacy and kind of going that way. But faux certain, it has me. I mean, Ariana and I just hover over the other boys. Now, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? It's annoying the out of them, so I can guarantee you they have some resentment.
I don't blame you at all, though. I don't blame you at all, dude. We have a question from.
At the same time, none of the boys can get pregnant. I know they can get people pregnant, but
exactly. We have a Mecha Lord here for 1337. Thank you for supporting the stream. Saying Faith sent pictures to Ralph and talked to him behind your back when she arrived home. How do you know that she's not stringing someone else along?
I don't. I mean, I don't think she is, but I don't. I kind of covered that with PPP earlier. There's always going to be the trust issue. I mean, stringing somebody else along, she can find a decent guy. I mean, she's dating a really awesome guy who we've known for a long time, and I'm not going to mention his name or drag him into any of this shit because he's a super good guy. So I mean, I guess you could say she's stringing him along, but he's a willing string along, so and we approve of him. And,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, the final thing I was going to bring up, and I wanted to ask this for a long time. Do you think that if you hadn't done the abort the retort stuff, if you hadn't posted on Kiwi Farms, if you didn't get involved online, do you think Faith would have come home on her own, or do you think she would still be there?
Don't know if she would still be. I don't know. I know that throwing the stressor into the relationship reveals that person is faster. I mean, I go off on a tangent about problems that I think the new generation have with dating, where they treat dating like it's already a committed relationship. So when they discover problems in the dating process, they're like, let's work on it. No, you're fucking dating. Forget it. Find the next person where you're actually compatible. And then when you have a commitment, that's when you work on it. and that it was definitely her mindset of the whole thing. It's like, well, I guess he kind of cheated at the time. So when I'm using the faith voice, it was at the time, not right now. I think we should work on it, even though he drinks a lot and blah blah blah. Like, no, man, that's your sign to get the fuck out.
Do you think the
it's
prime
already
motivation
bad.
was the cheating, or was it when Ralph laid hands on her and choked her and shit like that pushed her over the edge, or was it more?
The assault definitely pushed her over the edge, scared the shit out of her. So that's the one thing I can say is when she called us from DC after the assault incident, she was scared. I mean, she was we were asleep. She was calling us. She was texting us. She was like, I'm terrified. Call me. And I mean, Ariana spoke with her really for most of that. And I can put her on if you want to talk to her about that. But guarantee she was scared when that happened.
Well, I think I've asked all the questions I need to ask.
Yeah, same.
Andy, do you have anything else?
No, that was an entertaining interview. That was great, man. Thank you for coming on. That was enlightening and an excellent wrap up to the Ralph saga, I would say, because I don't see where he's going after this. Now, you know what I mean? Like, it's all crumbling down, Yeah. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put the guns back together again. Like, it's not happening. Like,
Not likely.
No. Well, yeah. Any final words you want to say before you head off?
For me, hey, you guys, both of you guys are super entertaining.
Thank you.
Love the show, and I don't say that lightly because usually I fucking hate live streamers for obvious reasons. That's my go-to feeling for it. So you guys keep up the good work, and I will keep watching.
Mad love. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Vickers.
Mr. Vickers.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hopefully you didn't think I was too aggressive or too harsh. I tried my best to be reasonable, but we appreciate you coming on.
I can only say that, you know what? I was a little aroused.
So was I.
I'm gonna leave you with that uncomfortable feeling for the rest of the fucking show. I'm out, you guys.
Yo, peace out. That's Mr. and Mrs. Vickers. Wow.
To be honest, I'm just like in a surreal universe now where we had Vickers on the show. I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was bizarre and compelling, for sure.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.